Hi everybody, I'm Lindsay Ferrier with Moms Matter, and today we are in Orlando for our road trip. We've caught up with Nadia Jones, otherwise known on the internet as Justice Jonesy. She's one of our political bloggers for CafeMom's The Stir, and she's here today to tell us a little bit about what makes Florida voters tick. Thank you so much for being with us today, Nadia.
Thank you for having me.
So Nadia, what kind of voters are we going to see here in Florida?
I think that we're going to see a lot of conservative voters. I think that especially like in some of the different counties, it's just been historically a red county, and they're very active and they want to protect conservative policies and initiatives. So I think for Florida it's going to be important to get out the Democratic voters and make sure that they come out in large numbers.
So we have a number of women, obviously, in Florida. Mm-hmm. We've got the Latino vote here. Florida is 23% Latino. Yeah. And we've got students and African-Americans.
Yes.
What's the effort, I guess, to motivate those populations to vote here in Florida?
I think a lot of the grassroots organizations that are going on and the volunteering and the recruiting that has been taking place is really going to help get these groups to come out and vote. And the excitement that they've been generating has done well, you know. And I think that as long as they continue to build the excitement and get the younger people active as they've been doing, it's going to work well for Obama.
As an attorney, I'm sure you've been covering the whole controversy over the voter registration laws with interest. Mm-hmm. How do you think that could impact the outcome of Florida's vote?
I think it can have a negative impact with regards to the Democratic voters. I think making it harder for people to register to vote is something that was well thought out, and I think that it's going to have a negative impact in 2012. So I think it's very important for us to spread the message and to let people know that there have been some changes that have been made, and that to ensure that they understand what those changes are.
The issue, of course, with that vote, we've talked to several experts who say that the law is discriminatory. Do you think that it was written with that intent? Do you think that this was a partisan effort to keep Democrats from voting?
Well, that's what I've read, and I hope that that's not the case. But when you look at what happened in 2000, 2004, and 2008, especially like in Duval County, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, to tell you the truth.
Culturally, historically, Latinos have the lowest voter turnout rate. Mm-hmm. Why do you think that is, and what can we do to get more Latinas to come out and vote?
I think culturally for women, they like to, in the Latino community especially, politics is something that the men do. And so in order to ignite kind of that fire in the women to go out and register and to vote is just something that's going to have to take place family by family, to tell you the truth.
Let's talk about some of the issues that you think are the most important in this election.
Let's see. Gosh, there's so much. I think the new healthcare, the Affordable Health Care Act, I was glad to see that pass, but if Romney is in office in 2012, he's going to do all that he can to repeal that. And I think that it's going to be detrimental to a lot of Americans if in fact he's able to do something. But hopefully he understands, and most Americans understand, that the Supreme Court has already voted and decided on that issue, so we need to move forward. The other thing that I think is important is taxes. We've got to do something about the taxes and the way that Americans are taxed, and we've got to do something, of course, to help the economy. I mean, I think that's the obvious one. Even though I'm an Obama supporter, I understand that there's still a lot of work to be done, and I think that getting it all done in one term is not enough, and I hope that other people understand that as well.
What about education? How do you think that education reform is going?
I don't think that there's been much progress in education. I think because of healthcare and because of the economy, that's been like the major focus point. So I think there's a lot that needs to be done with regards to public education still, especially just making public education, increasing and improving education for everybody. But I hope that, once we can stabilize the economy, we can do something about education.
How about immigration? I know that's a big issue in Florida. Mm-hmm. Some are saying that what President Obama has done was too little too late, that they would have liked to see him do more regarding immigration during his presidency. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that issue?
I think he's done what he can. I think he understands it's an issue. I think he knows that we've got to do something with immigration reform. I think what he was able to do with the DREAM Act was amazing. And I think that that was something that he could do immediately and to affect a large number of people. So I think that that's a step in the right direction.
From your perspective, does Mitt Romney have a chance with Latino voters here? What's the sentiment that you're hearing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, I know that, they've been saying that perhaps Marco Rubio might be his VP pick. And I think because the Tea Party has recently come out to really support Rubio's hopeful, VP spot, I think that's going to affect Romney, because I don't think that the Latino voters are really in line with the policies of the Tea Party. So I think Romney alone is not really a favorite of the Latino voters, but maybe the wealthy Latino voters, but I don't think the majority of the Latinos.
Let's talk now about writing for the Stir.
Sure.
One of the things that stood out to me immediately as a Stir blogger is that CafeMom's population just runs the gamut. You're going to have every kind of opinion, every kind of background represented, every kind of political belief represented. How has that been for you? Was it a surprise getting just the number of comments from all different directions?
I think so. I think initially it was a surprise. And I think sometimes when you read I try not to read the comments because they can be very hurtful sometimes. But then you have like one or two people who stay on focus and stay on topic. But then just some people are just, they disagree with you so much that they disagree to the point where they just totally dislike you and will criticize you. But it's been interesting. I love the topics. I love writing for it. And I just, love how we all have our own opinion, and I think that's just great.
Is it hard for you sometimes to read the opinions of other
It is.
bloggers?
It is. Sometimes reading what the other moms have said, I'm reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. But I mean, that's what we're doing. We're writing our own opinion, and I'm sure sometimes what I write is, they have the same reaction to my posts.
What I like about having all of these different backgrounds represented is that I feel like moms can kind of lead the way in civil political discourse and in saying, I absolutely don't agree with you, but we can get along and we can have a conversation and we can make our point without trying to hurt others' feelings in the process. How do you think that moms can lead the way in this area?
I think what you said is right, that we can just agree to disagree. And do it in a respectful way. And I hope that as long as that we continue to do that, we can kind of serve like as a role model to, not just our children, but to just, society in general. I think that in a country like ours, we have to respect other people's opinions. And I think that because we're a democratic society, I mean, if you voted and you tried to make change and unfortunately your vote wasn't picked, then you just got to respect the vote that was picked.
Do you think that moms are turned off by the current climate on television and on the internet when it comes to politics? It seems like a lot of moms, to me, don't even want to go there because they're so used to seeing that fighting within the media and on blogs and on websites.
I don't know. I feel like in recent years especially, there's been more like, the pundits, like women involved, political commentary made by women trying to represent our voice and our opinion. So I think that I would guess that in recent years, moms are more inclined to get involved, either by volunteering or just watching the political debates or, exchanging in discourse amongst their friends over coffee.
Well, you've had a lot of interesting things to say today, and I'm so glad to get to meet you in person.
Same here.
Hear your perspective. We hope to be hearing a lot more from you in the future.
Yeah, thank you. It's fun to be here.